Margins are powerful. There is creativity and inspiration and innovation that happens there if there is space and if they aren't filled with routine. I've been thinking a bit lately about singing. If you read my bio, you'd know that I used to be a singer. My first real job was as a full-time musician. Needless to say, my father-in-law, almost father-in-law at the time, was not shy to say he didn't think it was a real job when he was chatting with his friends. He was very supportive of my relationship with his daughter, for the record. Anyway, with singing, the best work is done at the edges of your vocal range. The emotion of the lyrics can be communicated intensely with the freedom that lives at the top of your vocal range when you have control. And that's the important secret. You have to be in control. Now, in most songs, those moments are nearly always saved for the chorus, maybe even just the last chorus, the kind that you build up to with a full chest and a strong diaphragm. But you can't sing at that extension indefinitely. Those moments are like a short sprint on a sports field. You have to reserve your energy for the moments that count. So you need margins in the verses. You need to sing at 5 or 6 so that you can push your voice to 11 when the chorus hits. Now at work, you need margins too. So often there's a lack of margin in the workplace, and we've been feeling it at Mygrow. We've been singing a sustained chorus. 8 bars have turned into 16 bars, have turned into 32, and I've been longing for that resolving chord that will trail into a post-chorus lull before the next verse. And as I've been wrestling with all of this, knowing that the key we're singing in is producing good work, but also knowing that it's not sustainable. And sometimes I'm left with feelings of desperation as I'm trying to figure out what do we do about this. Sometimes it seems like there's no end in space. The margins are full. There's no space to play with new ideas, for something organic to rise up and grow. From the outside, it looks easy, it looks simple. People say, just slow down. But from the inside, it's not that simple. The tyranny of the urgent is like a little yapping dog at our heels. So it's a challenge. A friend of mine recently shared a quote that's been quite profound for me. He said, breakthroughs don't happen at breakneck speed. Breakdowns do. And I find that challenging, but this isn't actually a post about boundaries or about balance. And as you can tell, I'm not opposed to working in the margins. I don't think the margins are sacred lanes reserved only for rest or for emergencies. Most of the time, sure, that's a given. But as I say, I think some of the best work is done in the margins, singing at the top of my range, in the headroom. But we have to treat the margins like no man's land. It's dangerous to stay there too long, and definitely don't set up camp there. Margins are best used spontaneously. You don't schedule spontaneity, it happens ad hoc. There's some practices that I try to do to create and sustain margins. I try to protect my REM sleep, get to bed, lights out, as early as possible, at least during the week. And what happens with this is it creates margins for energy and focus the next day. And in the morning, I try to get up at least half an hour before the kids and the chaos, getting ready for school, breakfast, all the drama that comes with that. And I like to do some yoga, some stretching, or some prayer, or reflecting on the day before the chaos sets in. Now, I'm not saying that I get it right even half the time, definitely not. But what I am saying is that when I manage to create margins, I see a difference in my output, and I feel more human, and my creativity increases. Sure, we need the margins for emergencies and for rest, definitely. But you also need the margins to do good work. They're the headroom that you can push yourself when you need to get to 11, so long as you're not doing that all the time, for the power of your contribution to the world and for the goodness of the chorus.